Hi Noteboard Gamers and welcome back to Noteboard Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. Now in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a game called Lunar Rush, designed by Stephen Skippy Brown and coming to you from Dead Alive Games. Now Dead Alive Games have just delivered a game to Kickstarter backers called the Omicron Protocol. I've got a review copy of that, not had a chance to play it yet. And this is going to hit Kickstarter at some point later this year, probably in the autumn stroke fall, depending on where in the world you are, later this year. Now, Stephen Skippy Brown is the brother of Will Brown from the Hungry Gamer. Obviously, I get on very well with Will. I'm going to visit him when I go to America very shortly. So I just wanted to be kind of fully disclose that information. But this is a preview, it's not so much a review of the game itself. So what is Lunar Rush? Well, it's very much a Euro game. And in this game, you're going to be taking part of a corporation, moving astronauts and parts from the Earth up to the Moon, then kind of using Moon resources and Earth resources to create new resources, bringing them back down to Earth and using a market to try and generate cash for you or credits for you there. So it's very much a kind of pick up and deliver kind game-ish, resource management and resource conversion game, and also there's an element of market manipulation in there as well. You're going to take the part of a corporation, and on that corporation, on your moon base, you've got various things on there. You'll start the game with 3 astronauts, and you can get more as the game goes on if you take them up to the moon. And there are a number of modules that you start with. You have a habitation module, basic life support, ore mine, a shard mine, a solar array, and an R&D lab. And by having those, you can allocate astronauts to them if you've got the right parts, to then convert them into other parts, which are either going to give you life support, going to give you energy, or they're going to give you stuff to bring back down to Earth and sell it. But throughout the game, you're going to get the opportunity to then upgrade as well. So you can upgrade these parts on your base to try and get better facilities up there, which will allow you to easier to get more items to sell at Earth, or the better items like the Lunathist shard, which is worth, the Lunathist gem, which is worth quite a bit, shall I say, or Lunarium material. You're going to bring them down and sell them there. There's also some gold modules, which are these here, and the game's going to start with 8 of those, and if you get the ability to get those, they give you additional bonuses as well. So you can get an automated ore mine, which if you put a worker on there, it's going to give you 6 of these Lunarium ores. But to do this, to build this, you're going to need 2 of these, I think they're life support modules, I can't remember exactly, habitation modules. You're going to need some textiles, and you're also going to need some energy there as well. So they are quite expensive, but they are good things, and they gain you good advantages, and also there are bonuses for having those as well. There's also a bidding element for it as well. You see, your kind of turn order is determined by a bidding process, and you're going to bid a number between 1 and 5 and put that on the board. And then whatever the other bids are, whoever's got the highest bid will go first, but it's going to cost you more to get the highest bid. But there is a definite bonus in going first. You see, to go up to the moon, there are 3 routes. There's a fast route, there's a medium route, and there's a slow route. The fast route gets you up there in practically 1 turn, and that's really, really good, obviously. But you can only carry 2 items on there. If you go on the medium route, you can take 5 items up, but it's going to take you 2 turns to get to the moon. And if you go on the slow route, you can take 10 items, but it's going to take you 3 turns to get up to the moon. So therefore, you can take more stuff up, but it's going to take you longer. But if you go the fast route, you can get there quicker and potentially do stuff. So there's this real element, there's a benefit in potentially going first in the bidding mechanism. Also works on the way down. There's a medium, a fast, a slow, fast, a medium, and the slow route on the way down as well. And that is really important, because when you come down, whichever ship arrives first with the goods gets the best part of the market, and the more stuff that's sold, then what happens is the market price starts to decrease. Now it will shift back up and down throughout the game. There's also a different board as well where the market goes up and down, and in some of the additions that are going to be made to the game as well, there's going to be an element of market manipulation in there as well, so that's going to be really interesting. So having the ability to kind of choose your tracks, whether it's fast, slow or medium, up and down, is really, really, really important. That kind of covers the basics of how the game plays. Now, the solo game, you're going to play against an AI deck, and if you're playing against one AI deck, you're going to close off a random route, basically, so that only leaves 2 routes available. However, I'm going to show you how it's played with 2 AI decks, which leaves all 3 routes open, and therefore that gives it kind of a bit more of a tug of war. AI is really, really simple to operate on this, and it creates a really, really good challenge. And the other thing, playtime on this. It's called Lunar Rush, and rush is exactly the right thing for 2 things. First of all, you're rushing to get the right the right routes to go to the moon. You're rushing to get back to the market so that you can claim the best spots on the market. And in the multiplayer game, some of the actions can happen simultaneously as well, not all of them. But in the solo game, you can play a solo game in round about 45 minutes, and it is a really, really nice challenge as well. It's almost, I would say, it's that perfect entry point for people who are interested in slightly more complex Euros. It's really quick to explain, really kind of quick to get to grips with, but provides a good challenge as well at the same time for people who are a little bit more experienced. So let me show you the setup for the solo game using 2 AIs. I'll show you roughly how it plays, and then we'll come back and talk about my thoughts on Lunar Rush by Dead Alive Games, designed by Stephen Skippy Brown. So here is everything set up for the solo game with 2 AIs. Now I'm going to be red, and you can see I've got my 3 starting astronauts there. There are 7 there. The AIs don't use astronauts. Up in the top corner, I don't know if you can see, I'm red and the 2 AIs are yellow, and one's yellow and one's blue, and you start on 25 points. And I've also got some mini meeples up there. Here is the market board. Here is the board for initiative and for the ships that come back down. Here are the gold modules that you can get to win. Those are my potential gold modules. And here are my ships here. And the AI will use their ships as well. We have the Earth resources here. So habitation cubes, technology cubes, etc. And then we have the moon resources up there. And here are my initiative cards. So to start off, what you're going to do as a solo player, or any player really, is you're going to choose an initiative card, basically. So let's see which one we want to choose. So maybe I'm not that bothered about going first, not necessarily. Probably interested in keeping my my victory points, because it's going to cost me victory points at the moment. So I'm going to go for 2. Let's just put that there for now. Then I've got 2 decks here. One for the blue AI, one for the red AI. I'm going to take the first card. That's a 5, and we're going to take that one, and that's a 4. So the order up on the initiative deck up here is going to be 5, 4, and then 2. So that's good. That means that we know which way that's going. Just put one of those up there for the turn order there. Okay, so we know blue is there, red is there, and yellow is there. So I'm going to be going last here. Okay, so up here then, if we take blue for example, so I'll just put blues here. We've got these ship up and ship down cards here. And what you're going to do is flip one of these, and it's going to choose an available route to put its ship on. You see the AI effectively acts as a blocking mechanism on here. So let's have a look first. Start off, and we look here, and for the up route, it's got the yellow, the medium route. So what we'll do, we'll take the blue ship, and we'll put that on the medium route. Next one is the yellow AI, and the yellow AI is here, and we're going to see what they get on their route, and there we go. We've got the up route. The first available one is the fast route, so they're going to block the fast route. At the same time, I should have really actually flipped the down cards, because if they can't use an up or down route, they will get that, so we'll do those. Now it's my turn, and I can choose any route. It doesn't have to be up, it doesn't have to be down. And if the AI can't choose an up route because those are taken, what it would do is it would then kind of go down the card and then move on to the down routes, basically. But now it's my turn, so I'm left with just going on the slow route. So I will put my guy just there. Then everybody chooses their next route. So back to the blue one. So we go here, so we look at the next available route. There's no up routes available. because I could, if I had chosen that and a down route would have been available, then maybe an up route would have been available. It could have gone there. So I moved it down. So the blue one is going to move onto the slow route, effectively blocking me from slow. And the yellow one is going to move onto the medium route. So there we go. So that means I can only use the fast route coming down, and that's fine. But I'm going to be bringing practically nothing down back with me because I've got nothing to produce up there. Because I've only got one habitation cube and that doesn't buy me anything. Okay, so we'll put those back there for now. Those are the cards that have been used. We'll put the AI decks kind of up and down up there. So that's kind of how this turn starts. You bid for initiative. Sorry, I forgot to say. When you bid for initiative, you lose the amount of money on there, and then further through the game, it's a multiplier that goes on there. So the blue has actually lost 5 points, the yellow has lost 4 points, and I have lost 2 points. So there we go. I'm still in the lead, but you can see up on the victory point tracker, I've lost that those victory points. So you would do that once you determine what the initiative is. So here we go. That's kind of the setup now. Now we're going to move into moving our ships. So what happens is, well, you can load your ships and then you can move it. Now, each of these ships going up, I believe, can take 2 astronauts. 2 astronauts. And coming down, they can take 1 astronaut. So I could push more astronauts up there. However, the more astronauts I push up there, then the more of my life support I may have to use. Because if I put astronauts up onto the moon, for every astronaut that's outside the habitation module and doing these things on here, you then have to pay life support for them. I'm still 2 turns away from needing that, so maybe I'll load an astronaut on there and I can fit 9 items on there as well. So I've got to think about what I want to build when I go up to the moon. And if you look at the market, kind of these things here, there's some key stuff. Now I've already got, I started the game with 1 habitation module, so I've got that up on the moon there. But maybe I want to think about potentially, 1 habitation cube, potentially increasing, building a 2nd habitation module so that I can then, store more astronauts on there. So I will put 2 astronauts on there actually, yeah, and therefore I can then put another couple of things on there as well. I don't want to load it up too much, so let's see. So I think they take 2 spaces each. That still leaves me with 5 left. I'll put 2 of these cubes on and 2 of those cubes on. No, it's the white ones that take 2 spaces each. So I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on there. Let's see, 7, 8. So we'll leave that at that for now, basically. So I've loaded that, ready to take to the moon, but there's nothing I can do with those so far, and I've only got this 1 habitation cube here. So now we're going to move into the next phase, which is moving up towards the moon. So these guys actually just go back because they're just a blocking mechanism, and I'm going to move my spaceship up 1. So I'm starting to take some goods to the moon, start to think about what I can build when I'm on the moon. For example, if I want to upgrade my basic R&D lab, then I need a blue cube, right? So now we're on to the moon phase. So those ships are back up there. I've taken my first move with a loaded ship on there. We're now onto the moon phase. The first thing we're going to do on the moon phase is turn over one of these ship cards for them. So let's put this here again. So we have the blue one, and he's going to turn over this card. And we have the yellow one, and they're going to turn over that card. And what that does, I've just knocked my green life support off there. What that does is it tells you on the routes that they're on, if they're on that route, what they're going to be bringing back with them, basically. Yeah? Okay, and we'll come back to that in a second. So now we're going to move to my produce phase. So all I've got so far is my 1 habitation cube. That's it. You start the game with a habitation cube. So there's not much in the way that I can build to expand on there, but I can produce other stuff as well while I'm on the moon. So let's just move those off to one side, because you build and produce simultaneously, and this way your worker actions come in. So if we look at this here, I'm just going to put one of them on my life support. I'll just move that onto the floor. If I put that guy there, I can get 2 energy, but I can also increase my life support, which will save me as I've got more later on, as I've got more people moving in. So let's do that. Let's move that guy there. And it's going to increase my life support from its start position of 6 up to 8. So 6, 7, 8. There we go. My life support is there. What else can I do? Let's have a look at these here, because if I can produce something with and use it with my habitation module. So for example, if I wanted to increase my life support module, in fact, no, we will do that. Let's take that back here. It's a really good way. I can increase my life support module by using some energy. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create 2 energy instead. 1, 2. Okay. Now, I do want to do that, but I want to build first. So I'm going to spend my habitation cube. I'm going to spend my energy and one of my life support to actually upgrade that module there. So now what I can do is put that on there, and I'm actually going to get 3 life support instead of 2. So that puts me back to 8, but in future rounds that means I'm going to get 3 life support. So you can build and produce simultaneously. You can upgrade what you're on already. So I've still got 1 little worker left. It's going to cost me, if I put him out, it's going to cost me 3 out there. What can I do here? I could produce an amethyst shard here, which is really good, because if I produce that, that goes into here, and then when I get a ship coming down, I can load it on there. So that's what we'll do there. We'll produce an amethyst shard. So that's one of these here. There we go. And we'll just put that on there. So that's my moon phase done. Now we move into kind of coming down now, if you like. So if we go back to these cards, we know blue is first. And it says here on his AI ship card, here we go, that if he's on the fast route, he's going to load that. If he's on the medium route, he's going to load that. On the slow route, he's going to load that. Well, there we go. He's going to load the most expensive thing because he's on the slow route. So that's one of these. Let me just find it here. Oh, there we go, they're all buried underneath. That's one of these Lumethyst gems, and that's going to be loaded on the blue guy there. God dang nabbit. So when he gets back to market, that's going to be good. Now for the yellow guy, let's have a look here. They're on the medium route. They're going to load a crystal as well. So they have got that on there. Oh my God. Right, that's not going well for me. Now what can I do then? So what have I produced on the moon? I produced this one crystal here. There we go. There we go, the shard here. So I'm going to load that onto my ship. And that's everything done on the moon phase now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into moving stuff down. So we'll start with the slow route. That's going to move to there. This one's going to move to here. That means in 2 turns time, that will go into the market there. 1 turn's time, that will go into the market there. But for my ship, that's going to go straight into the market just there. Okay? Now we move on to the next, which is about scoring from that. So if we look over here, my Lumethyst shard, you move it onto the first one there, and there we go. That's going to give me 8. So just put that back over there, and that's going to give me 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which is great. It's fantastic. There's also a little thing here. If one shard, not one shard is sold, you move it back. So because you can sell multiple ones of them, it is easier to go down there, but after every turn you then move that back from there. So yeah, so that didn't build that shard, that's okay. Sorry, I got that shard and that's gone back to there. I got my 8 points, but we know that when this guy moves next, he's probably going to get 42 points for getting that gem, which is a real kicker. Now, what also you get to do on the moon phase as well, if I'd got the resources, I could have bought one of the gold modules. But if we look on, in fact, it did happen on the yellow one here, they're going to take a gold card. So down at the bottom here, it says +1 gold card. So I don't have a D8 on me, but what you do is roll a dice. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. And we'll see what happens. It's a 5 anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're going to take that card, and that moves out there. That means that card is not for me to use now. And there we go. That is kind of the first round of Lunar Rush done. So you can already see, almost done, should I say, because what we have to do now is I have to feed my guys. They're over here. So what I've got to do here, there's 3 out there. So they now have to get fed. So it's going to cost me 3 for that. So 1, 2, 3. They move back to there. They move back into my habitation module. There we go. That is the first round done. So you can see it's really, really quick to play. Then what happens is, first round done there, all these cards that we use for initiative, they all get moved to one side because you can't use them on the next round, basically. So you have to. So we fed the workers. The next thing that's going to happen is all these cards that we use for initiative, they are going to move just there, basically, and that's it. So you can't use them again for the next round. They'll go back into the deck after we've chosen initiative. That's round number 1 done. Now we move the turn marker up. There we go. And we're going to move on to round 2. So again, it's about bidding for initiative. And it's about kind of trying to ensure what I need to do. I've already got something in the slow lane. Maybe I want to get something in the fast lane up there. So do you know what? Maybe I take my 5 points. I've got a lead. I'm going to go with 5. I know there's a 5 and a 4 out there. Maybe I go with 4 and just chance it. Yeah, we'll go with 4, basically. So I'm going to go 4. Let's see what these guys do. So blue, I believe, was 5 last time. He's on 4, okay? And yellow is on 5, okay? So yellow is going to go first. There we go. Now, for the next one, because we're tying here, because I had the lowest initiative in the last round, that means I go second. So that goes there, and then blue is going to go there. So we'll just change these guys around here. There we go. And we can see the order now is there. So yellow is going to cost him 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue is going to cost him 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to cost me 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's the initiative done there. So now we'll take yellow and we will take an up and down 1 for yellow. So we'll just move this here. That's the up deck. That's the down deck. Let's just put yellow there. And the up card and the down card. So they're going to put a ship on the first available one. That's going to be on the slow one. So that's blocked now. That's yellow done. Then it's my turn. I think I want to put something on the fast route and get something up to the moon so I can start building next. So I'm going to go fast route. Now we're going to blue. We'll pull his cards. There's his up route and his down route. Okay. So up. First one available is fast. Can't do that. Going to move on to medium. Okay, so blue is going to do medium. Bear in mind, I could have gone to down routes and left all of those open basically. Now we're back to yellow. There's no available fast routes up. That one is only for the 4-player game. So now we're going to go down here and they're going to take the fast route down. So they're going to load up with something on the fast route down. Then it's over to me. Well, I've already sold something in the market. And I think if let's take the medium route for me. So my spaceships are there. That's a medium route for me, and therefore blue guy is going to take the remaining one, which is the slow route, and that's that. Okay, so we'll just get rid of those to one side. All those are used. Put those cards back. There we go, blue and yellow up there. And what we'll do, we'll add their initiative cards from last go back into their decks and we'll shuffle them. There we go. So you shuffle them so you don't know what's where. And that's ready for next turn. And then we get to load. So as I say, I can load up with more astronauts, but you know, thinking about life support, it may not be the best thing. And I'm on the fast route, which means I can move 2 items up there. So let's think what I want to move up there. So habitation cubes are always really useful, so we'll stick one of those on there. And you've got advanced machinery and tech parts as well. Well, that's quite loaded with them. Oh, that takes up 2 spaces. So that's done, okay? Now we're going to move into the move phase, so moving ships phase. So again, these go back, they're just blocking mechanisms. We'll move slow up to there, and then fast is going to go right up to there. I'm going to put that on there so I've got a habitation cube. At least I can build something now with my resources that are on the moon. That's the up card. So there we go. Now it's the moon phase. So on the moon phase, what we're going to do is, again, at the beginning of the moon phase, we're going to flip over a ship card for each of these. So here's the blue one. He's got that. That's a red one. They've got that. Oh my god. Okay. So blue is on the slow route, and that means they're going to take one of these gold, what they called They are Lunarium metal, so that's going to go on the blue. And also a gold card, we'll come back to that in a second. And then the yellow one is on the green, and they're going to take a, there we go, a gold ore, or a Lunarium ore, okay? They're also going to take some of this stuff here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 it will be, and I'll decide on the ones as and when they come. So let's roll the dice for blue first of all. It's a 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that one's gone. Means I can't buy a gold module. Then I could buy a gold module had I had the stuff, because I'm second, but I don't have enough to buy any gold modules here. I don't think. I need two habitation. I need red. I've got none of that whatsoever. So now we move on to yellow. And they've got 3. 1, 2, 3. So they're taking that one. So you can see these gold modules. It kind of pays dividends to try and get there quickly. These taking of gold doesn't happen on every turn. There are only certain cards that's got it on. I've just been very unfortunate. Out of 4 cards I've drawn, 3 of them have got the take 1 gold. So now it's my turn to produce and to build. So let's think. I've got a habitation module. So I could build this, which I may need because I've got more spaceship astronauts arriving next. So let's do that, and it gives me 5 victory points as well. I don't know if you can see that on there. Also gives me 5 victory points. So when you upgrade, it gives you victory points. So that's the first thing we're going to do. I'm going to spend my habitation cube. There we go. That goes back to there, and I got that. That means I've got some room for these guys next go. I've got a feeling I'm going to still need some life support. So let's get that back up to 8. 1, 2, 3. There. And then let's see, what can we do? I've got nothing else in terms of resource, and all of these are going to require stuff that I just do not have, basically. So I think we just need to generate some stuff now as well. I'm going to be on the medium route coming down. So what I could do is again generate another one of these. Is that the shard? Yeah, generate a shard, put that on my ship. There we go. And then maybe... So I could have generated tech, but I still need habitation cubes for everything, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, I still need habitation cubes for everything I want to build. So, let's generate some energy. 1, 2, okay. So that's everything I've done. I've loaded up my ship with what I produced there, which is the shard. Now we're going to move all of the ships down in order. So we know that first is yellow. Yeah. So yellow's going to move down, and they're going to go into the medium route, which is there. Okay. Then we're going to move everything else down. So, well, I should move fast route first down, actually. So yellow is also moving down for the fast routes. They've got 2 on here. So it's fast, medium, and then the slow route, everything moves down there. Wow. So you can see, next turn, 2 different ships are going to go into the market, but also we look over here, and what we got here is now yellow kind of cornering the market on everything. So they've come down. I don't get any points, obviously. They come down, and what they do is they're going to sell this gold ore, and there we go. That gold ore is going to give them 9 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back to 20 there. So that's moved on to there. It says there, North sold over to there. 1 to 2 sold, back 1. So that goes there. So that's off. That's that. And then they've got this bloody crystal, haven't they? This bloody gem. The Lunarium gem. So they're going to move on to there. Get 42 points. So they're on 25. That puts them on 47. There we go. 45, 6, 47. So they're way up in front at the moment. That's moved on to there. That means the next person that gets that is going to get 40 points. Wow. Okay. So you can see how it's starting to build up now. It's starting to become a bit of a race. And you'll see a little bit of kind of rubber banding as some people go in front, and then depending on what you're building and how you're building it, whether you when you can come back, and then you carry on over 7 rounds. Now what happens is, as you progress throughout the game, is when you get to turn 5, your bids for your initiative is going to be 2 times the cost, basically. So if I bid a 5, it's going to cost me 10. Then when you get to round 6, it's 3 times the cost, And round 7 is 5 times the cost as well. But also what's going to happen is from turn 5 onwards as well, the priority when the AI is choosing routes is going to change. It's going to change the down first, because the priority is getting more stuff to get to obviously benefit from the market. And also on turn 6, what's going to happen is that the slow route is going to be closed on turn 6. So then on turn 6, the slow route is going to close, because of course there isn't enough there. On turn 7, the medium route is going to close, and when they close, basically what happens is that these cards, which give random benefits if you go on there. So if you're selected, if it's that one, if you're selected, immediately gain 3 tech instead of placing a ship, and that just gives you a bit of a bonus because those routes can't be closed. Then what's going to happen is at the end of the game, you're going to tot up your end of game score and see what score you've got. And for end of game scoring for you, if there's any ships en route earthbound, what will happen is you'll sell their goods at whatever the value is on the market there as well. Any remaining items on the moon, or metal, shard and gem that remain in your moon base will earn VP equal to that item for the end of game VP. And for each unit of all other items that remain on the moon base, which is tech, advanced machinery, habitation parts, life support and energy, they score 1 VP. And then every module that's been upgraded as well, let's say they've got VP on there as well, and you will top that up and you'll add your score up. But the AI, as they're building their score through the game, how they score, they don't receive any points for items left on the moon or built upgraded modules built, as it has none and has built none. However, it will receive a bonus based on the 3 remaining bid cards. Flip over the 3 remaining bid cards and add them up and multiply the total by 5. Then you can add the final points to the AI's total victory points. And that's how you play against the AI. And as you can see, the AI plays so smooth. So you can do your initiative, you're going to pay your initiative costs, you're going to load the ships, you're going to move them up to the moon, you're then going to flip over the cards for the AI and find out what they're loading their ships with on the way back. You're going to build and produce on the moon, you're going to load your ship, send them back, sell it to market, and of course then you're going to reap the rewards from there. One thing we forgot to do at the end of that round, of course, is take off my 3 life points there. There we go. For these guys who go back into there. I know that on the next go, I've got another 2 guys. Okay, so there's only 5 spaces on there. I've got another 2 guys ready, but that means I have to be good with this life support here. And that is how you play the solo of the amazing Lunar Rush. So there we go. Lunar Rush by name and Rush by nature. As you can see, the game is really simple to pick up. And yes, I made a couple of minor errors, which I think I picked up anyway as we were playing through. But it's very easy to understand, and you can see the real fast-paced nature of the game as well. Now, as I said, I was working with 2 AI decks. You can work with just 1 AI deck, and you would close off a random route each turn. Then you roll the dice to do that as well. But what I like about how the AIs work on this, and I think I would always play it with 2 AIs, is the fact they're creating this real proper competing element. As they are blocking routes to the moon, and they are blocking routes down from the moon, and also capitalising on the market as well. And you may have it in your mind that you've got enough to get this Lunathis gem, but you're on the wrong bloody route coming down, and there is an AI on a faster route coming down, and they're going to get there before you, and they're going to steal those valuable points from you. And I really like that. I think what Stephen's done here is create something that is, as I mentioned, kind of accessible. It's a really good kind of foray if you're looking to introduce people into more complex Euros or more complex games, but it's relatively straightforward to grasp. The teach is going to be really quick on this, and people get the concepts really quickly as well. And that element of forward thinking, that strategizing, thinking, right, I really want that gold module, or I want to get to my advanced lunar refinery, and I know I'm going to need a habitation cube, I'm going to need some some technology and some machinery parts, etc. And you're building up to get that, to make sure you've got enough resources to do that. That's really good. In the solo game, I like the implementation of how the bidding system works. The the initiative system works, the fact that when you get your initiative as well, it costs you points. So yes, you may want to get that coveted first spot so you can get the route that you want, but it's going to cost you points. Nothing comes without a cost in this game, and that is really never more important than it is when you're looking at that initiative phase as well. The smart use of the up and down cards in the AI is really good, and again, those kind of those ship cards are really, really good and really, really tricky as well. So, you know, I'm using 2 AI decks. I've got 2 lots of ship cards, and only it looks like maybe only 4 of them have the gold card on there, or minus a gold card on there, and the fact that on one of them I only drew 2 cards, and it drew 2 takeaway gold cards, show you how unlucky I was in that particular game. But that's really good as well. Those, you know, how that AI integrates into the game. I think overall, what Steven's done is create something that's really accessible, as I mentioned, and whilst not totally unique, it feels different enough to be fun. I like the really fast kind of gameplay time on it, as well as a solo player, probably 45 minutes as a maximum in terms of playing a game. And you can jump straight back into it. The kind of reset is no time whatsoever on it. And also, as well, there are difficulty modifiers as well. So I just played with kind of the base components and 2 AIs. But there are also additional cards that you can have. So there are beginner cards. If you're starting to play the game, they give you boons on certain rounds. So if you do certain things, they will give you boons and give you additional points as you're learning to play the game. There are challenge cards and faction cards as well. So challenge card, you draw one of those out, and it's like this one. All game, you may not have more than 7 workers on the moon at one time. At the end of the game, each moon module is worth 4 fewer VPs. All game, you may not place any workers on ships taking the slow or medium room. So those challenge cards really heat that up for you. Faction cards kind of change the way of the game. So, for example, on this one, at the start of the game, you start with 4 workers on the moon, but with 0 habitation parts and only 4 life support. Or this faction card says, all game, each moon item sells for 1 more VP than the price in the market. At the end of the game, each upgraded moon module is worth 4 fewer VP than what is printed on it. So you've got, say, beginner cards, you've got challenge cards, you've got faction cards, and to heat it up even more, you have the Wonders cards, which you didn't use. So the Wonders cards take place on the moon phase, and this is like additional objectives. And these have been changed, I believe, so these might be slightly out of date. But you can build different things here. For example, you could build a citadel, which has 2 habitation parts and a lunarium ore. And if you got the habitation mod, that would give you additional, it's times 4 victory points, or if you got the gold mod, that's times 3 victory points. And those are the Wonders cards that you can use as well. And as I say, you can introduce those into the game. I think that's on the moon phase that you introduce those. And that changes the way that you play. On the market system as well, so this is almost a linear with the prices going down. There's another board with, let's say, zigzagging prices on there, so the prices peaking and troughing. Then there's going to be a market manipulation part on it as well, so element to it as well, which is really, really interesting. So you then get to, kind of work out kind of excavation earth type, if you like. What you put on there is going to truly influence how the market works, and I think that's going to be a really interesting element. So it's a game that's got huge amounts of potential. I played it with multiplayer, played it with 4 people, I lost, and I played it solo as well. I played it solo a number of times, and once you get those basics down, it's really, really good. I think, if you're looking at potential things that may not dissuade people, may not be in people's wheelhouse, if you like. I think the artwork is pretty perfunctory, if you like, although it works and it does exactly what it says you can do. The artwork on the board, it doesn't really inspire stuff, so maybe an overhaul of the artwork. This is the prototype, obviously, so everything is subject to change. So if artwork is your thing, then maybe it's not for you. But other than that, I'm struggling to find much wrong with Lunar Rush. I think as a solo experience, it's a fantastic way to feel like you're getting a really crunchy Euro, and every game is going to feel different. I think it's smart, it's intelligent, it's easy to learn, it's got plenty of challenge in it. It's one that you should definitely be looking out to back when it comes out on Kickstarter later this year. So, thank you very much for joining me on this journey through Lunar Rush. Here we go. designed by Stephen Seppi Brown, published by Dead Alive Games. As I say, hitting Kickstarter later this year. It's been a real joy to play this game, and I'm not just saying that, I really have enjoyed that. It's going to go off to another previewer now to do a preview video on it, but for me, if you're looking for this kind of game and you think the idea of this game and all the various modules that you can add to it is going to be of interest to you, then it's certainly one to keep an eye on. So my name is Mark, this is Not Board Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, check out our other videos, and one final thought: if you can't find anyone else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourselves. Until next time, bye.